What's going on, guys? Matty G back here with you on Football and Flags. Thanks so much for joining us as always. Well, match day number one for this 2023 Women's World Cup has almost come to a conclusion. I believe we've only got one game left before we turn the page, but it's time to go back and review each of these groups, see how the standings look at the moment, and just give a good idea on what has gone right and what has gone wrong for each of these teams so far through their first match day. Straight into Group A we go, guys, and we get it started off with New Zealand and Norway, which was the opening match of this competition. If you weren't able to see it, New Zealand coming out with a 1-0 win and taking claim of their first ever World Cup victory. A fantastic moment for the country, for the ladies, and the entire federation in all. Not only that, but again, a great step forward towards hopefully qualifying for the first ever knockout stage as well on their own soil. So a fantastic result against a very good Norwegian side that a lot of people have pegged at least getting through to the knockout stages. I know, including myself, I had them getting through and winning the group. So a disappointing start for Norway. This game was very tight. A lot of decent chances for both sides. Norway edging out New Zealand in shots 13-12. Actually, both teams had the exact same number of passes in this game with 354. Just an interesting stat I thought I'd share with you all with that one. But again, New Zealand being able to come out with that victory, a great finish there to give them a 1-0 win, sitting currently second, while Switzerland went on to beat the Philippines 2-0 in their opening match, getting a penalty right before the half in stoppage time, converting that, and then scoring again in the second half to win 2-0. Really solid start for Switzerland. Again, this just being their second appearance in the World Cup finals. I think their first being in 2015. But the one thing I will say about Switzerland, though, that hopefully doesn't come back to bite them is, again, just only being able to score two on the Philippines. We'll see how well New Zealand and Norway do against that side. But certainly Switzerland might be hoping down the line that they could have maybe added to this goal differential to help themselves out a little bit more going up against two tougher opponents for their last two group stage games. But we'll see how that plays out. But as you can see right now, Switzerland on top, New Zealand second. Meanwhile, Norway and Philippines waiting to get those first points of these finals. On to Group B we go with our other co-host, the Matildas, getting the 3 points they needed in this opening match, but certainly was not easy to do so against the Irish, who played a very tough, physical game against them. This game actually only saw 3 shots total on target the entire time, 2 from Australia, 1 from the Irish. And it wasn't the fact that these teams weren't creating good attacking opportunities. It was just between sloppy turnovers in the final third and not finding enough separation when those shot opportunities came available, that we saw a lot of these shots get deflected or cleared away, or just not really even have a chance to get on target at all, which was a bit disappointing. But Catley does convert a penalty in the second half, I believe in the 52nd minute, to give the Matildas the 3 points that they needed to get through. As for Canada and Nigeria, a bit disappointing for Canada considering how many good chances they had in this game. Nigeria, however, though, really solid in the back, had some really good counterattacking opportunities. We saw just the raw speed that they have, as well as the talent that they have getting forward, making some dangerous moves on Canada as well. Christine Sinclair missing a penalty that would have helped secure possibly a victory for Canada, but in the end, it comes to a draw between these two teams and all still left to play for as we head into match day 2 for Group B. Maybe the most lopsided group we've seen thus far in the competition. We'll get started with Spain and Costa Rica, a 3-0 final there in favor of Spain. 3 goals coming within a 6-minute span, the first being an own goal, and then Esther Gonzalez getting the final one there. However, Spain outshot Costa Rica in this game 46-1, so maybe a bit disappointing for them to not convert more of those chances. But as for Costa Rica, you got to feel like coming through this game only losing by a final of 3-0, not too shabby to continue moving forward with Japan and Zambia next. As for Japan and Zambia, this game, again, not nearly as close as maybe some had expected, considering how well Zambia played in their friendly against Germany, defeating them 3-2. Japan going on to score 4 goals in the second half to win by a final of 5-0. Zambia having their goalkeeper sent off in extra time. We'll see how much that plays a factor into their second match with their backup coming in. But for Japan, a really, really good start, maybe even more promising than some had expected. Again, we'll see if this team can replicate some of the magic they had in 2011 and 2015, but so far, so good as they totally shut out Zambia, not even allowing a single shot in this 90 minutes. Well, from a couple of lopsided results in Group C, we come to Group D, where everything is still very tight right now. England come out with a 1-0 win over Haiti, however. Certainly disappointed that they weren't able to convert more chances, but Georgia Stanway gets a penalty through in the first half to do just enough. The Lionesses have certainly got to find more attacking options and more creativity as this tournament goes on. As for Haiti, they showed their quickness and pace several times during some counterattacks in this game, including one chance late that they had as they got in behind and had a clear shot on Mary Earps, but she comes up with a fantastic save to keep them out and keep all 3 points. As for Denmark and China, a huge result for Denmark. A late header here in this game in the second half to give them the lead and the victory. Denmark have actually been in the same group with China on 3 different occasions, this being the 4th now in terms of the group stage, and China have always come out on top against them in the group. So the fact that they were able to come out and score 3 points here in this one, collect the victory, especially considering how much conversation has gone on about the battle between China and Denmark for that second place spot. If England were to win the group, this is a huge advantage for them. As for China, certainly disappointing that they weren't at least able to come out with a draw in this one. They played a very solid game. But again, just keep in mind, China have never missed the knockout stages when they've made the World Cup finals. So off to a very rough start with England and Haiti still left to play. As for Group E, we'll get things started with the defending champions U.S. women's national team, who were certainly expecting to score more goals against the debutantes Vietnam in this opening contest, considering how many goals they had against Thailand. Remember back in 2019 with 13 in their opening match. But credit to Vietnam. They didn't record a single shot in this game, but put up a fantastic fight. Were very physical, very tough, kept a lot of numbers behind the ball, and really showcased a good defensive effort against the 4-time World Cup champions. As for the United States, they had 28 shots total, only being able to convert 3. And you could even argue that maybe Alex Morgan was offside when she interfered with that second goal. But as for the United States, still 3 points they are able to get. However, we'll see if goal differential comes into play later as the group unfolds. As for Netherlands and Portugal, Netherlands getting the goal they needed in the 13th minute, and that would be just enough. As for Portugal, again, they are making their debut as well. Only were able to record 2 shots with 1 on target in this game, but still put up a very solid contest and certainly held their own, I think, against the Dutch in this game. However, Netherlands able to come out with the 3 points, and as it stands, the 2 that most expected to get through this group are on top right now, with the United States and Netherlands set to face each other next, as Portugal and Vietnam now with a chance against each other, with an opportunity to maybe score some points with one of those 2 heavyweights waiting in the wings for their final group stage match. On to Group F, where Brazil are currently beating Panama 4-0. That game is almost over. Borges has herself a hat-trick right now. Easily could have had a 4th as well, an unselfish assist for their other goal. But she has taken over the top spot and sole possession of the Golden Boot race right now. I know Pop and Sophia Smith and a few others have 2, but right now it's Borges for Brazil taking claim over that number 1 spot at the moment. Again, for Brazil, this is a fantastic result, not only for goal differential-wise, but collecting all 3 points and taking an advantage over France, who many expected would be their toughest opponent in terms of trying to win this group. But as for Panama, I certainly can't even be disappointed. Again, Brazil have a plethora of riches in terms of this roster. So for the debutants, certainly, hopefully, they don't feel too disappointed coming out of this result. Hopefully, they'll be able to still manage something against France or Jamaica, which is still bizarre to me, the fact that Jamaica and Panama are in the same group. Again, I know that Panama came in through the playoff, but again, to see 2 CONCACAF teams in the same group is just bizarre, considering how we do the draw, and really that only European sides are ever able to stay in the same group, considering they have the most representatives. But anyway, moving on, in terms of France and Jamaica, a huge result for Jamaica in this one to take a point away from this French side, who again were expected to be a heavy favorite in this competition and still are. but disappointing for France considering they had 73% possession in this game. But that shows that possession is really nothing without a purpose, and they were not dangerous enough. They had some good chances. I think they even had one hit off the crossbar and then the post late in this game, but still unable to convert. And while it is a great result for Jamaica, obviously losing Bunny Shaw to that red card late in this one is just very, very disappointing considering what a huge figure she is for this team. And really, she didn't even need to go to ground with that tackle on Winnie Renard. I know she's just trying to keep her from clearing that ball back upfield, but really no reason to go to ground there. Just stay on your feet and try and block that one and keep the play moving forward, especially knowing that you're on a yellow already. So her absence in game 2 is going to be huge, but hopefully she'll be able to come back strong in game 3 for her side. But as it stands right now, Brazil with commanding control in Group F. On to Group G, where Sweden, while they have the top spot, take no credit away from South Africa, who fought valiantly against this side. Again, South Africa actually had the lead in this game in the 48th minute. A great goal there. Had a shot on frame, kind of forced the Swedish goalkeeper to make an uncomfortable save. She parried it right back out, and then it was all just about heart and using your body to put that one in. And South Africa took the lead in this one, but unfortunately Sweden come back, scoring in the 65th minute and then the 90th ultimately to take the win. Rolfo actually has credit as what I'm seeing for the first goal, but it looked like it was an own goal from the South African defender. However, nevertheless, Sweden do come away with that win 2-1. Very important for them to take that top spot as Italy were able to get a 1-0 win over Argentina. Argentina battling, though, in this game, had some really good passing sequences, kept possession fairly well, I thought. And even though Italy outshot them 12-5, again, put up a really solid performance. But Gorelli gets the header in the 87th minute, I believe, to give them the 1-0 result that they need as they take away that second spot. As you can see, the live standings for Group G: Sweden, Italy, South Africa, and Argentina. Still all to play for, though, in this group, and I think a very, very tight group, tighter than a lot of people expected, including myself. So it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. But again, all 4 of these teams still with a shot, in my opinion, to do some damage and possibly get to the knockout stage. Last but not least, Group H, where Germany dominated Morocco with a 6-0 win. Pop getting things started in the 11th minute, and then she got her second in the 39th, and then they piled on some more in the second half. Unfortunately, though, including 2 own goals from the Moroccan side to give them a 6-0 win. Germany only had 16 shots in this game compared to Morocco's 6 themselves, but Germany with the best conversion rate in terms of shots to goals so far in this competition, including the biggest number of goals in a single game so far with 6. Obviously, we saw Japan get 5 on Zambia, but right now Germany taking that claim at the moment. And again, goal differential looking fantastic for them, certainly in cruise control, I think, at this point so far in Group H. As for Colombia and South Korea, they play later on tonight as the final game in matchday number 1, or I guess if you're in Australia or New Zealand time, playing tomorrow. But we'll see how that game goes. Again, we've got Colombia getting through in this group with Germany, so certainly would hope to see them start off solid. But again, South Korea is no joke. This team is very solid, technically sound themselves, and I think this is going to be a very even fight with these two teams, sort of similar to, say, like Denmark and China going at one another in that opening game to see who gets an advantage possibly to taking that second place spot and getting to the knockout stages. So we'll see what happens later on with that game. But then, of course, right after that, later in the evening, Group A gets started underway again with those second games coming for them. But right now, Germany taking total control of Group H. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you're still with us in this part of the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We've seen a great uptick in the last month or so in terms of subscriptions, and certainly we have plenty more content coming your way in the near future, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. I hope you've all enjoyed Matchday number 1 and all the fixtures that came with that, but we've got plenty more to come in this competition. A lot of good action that we've seen so far, but it's only going to intensify from this point on. So make sure you watch as much as you possibly can. Keep an eye out for the channel. We've got plenty more coming your way. And until next time, guys, hope you have a blessed day. We'll see you soon. Peace.